thank you all for sticking around in this heat. I appreciate it. I know it's tough. As was mentioned, my name is Mihir Chaudary. I'm a physician, a doctor who works in the city. I care for COVID-19 patients in our field hospital. I'm a medical director there. I want to start off by really deeply appreciating everyone who gave testimony today. It was really moving to hear you speak and share your stories. So just to give you guys a sense of what we're up against, I want to describe this virus and remind us what this virus does. So from a physician standpoint, this virus is the deadliest virus we have seen as a species. Its receptors don't just bind to the lungs. A lot of people think that this is a pneumonia. This virus binds to every organ system: the lungs, the brain, the kidneys, the liver, the intestines, even the blood vessels. It triggers a massive inflammatory response as it attacks all of these organs. Patients' lungs are set on fire, their brain loses function, their kidneys start dying, their blood vessels start clotting. This is a highly fatal virus, and we have left people, our most vulnerable community members, to die on the streets from this virus. The only way to prevent it is to distance, to wash our hands, to wear masks. Prevention measures which we've heard from the survey is impossible right now in the shelters and on the streets. So Hogan's recent cuts and his token funding for eviction can only mean one thing: more death from this virus. And it's not decreasing. Don't let the cars on the streets or the opening get you fooled. The virus is actually at its highest rate of transmission yet in this country. Cases in Maryland are expected to surge by the end of August, and will do so even more if we don't protect people from evictions, if we don't house people who are on the streets. This is clearly a human right, and if we don't do it, even the ruling class, even those with money, will be affected. As Mark said, the virus will kill us all. That is not an understatement. So as a physician working in our COVID field hospital, I've had the privilege of caring for over 130 patients passing through, those who have survived, who have recovered. Almost all of the ones I've taken care of have suffered from homelessness or housing insecurity. They've been patients who are patients of color, people of color, almost all of them. And they've also, a large proportion of them have been undocumented patients living in the shadows, as we heard from Elmer, living in constant fear and insecurity. So I want to, so you know, our state officials, they're all obviously very culpable in this. Hotel rooms are empty. We have many vacant lots, easily enough to house every single person in this house many times over. Yet people are left to die on the streets. One other system and force I want to name in this very preventable suffering and very preventable death is racial capitalism. The way we racially exploit and extract from working class people, from people of color, leaves them at very increased risk of contracting the virus and of dying from it. So I want to close out with a question. Oftentimes we frame many of the people who have spoken today as invisible. Though clearly, I think the bigger issue is that we're blind and choose not to respond. As you heard today, these people are very much present. As we heard from you heard from Komba's song, people are survivors. They're persisting and living through this pandemic. And no matter how brutal and callous and unseeing our society, the people we heard from today, they hold the truth. They are the ones who see most clearly the oppressive nature of our structures. We've heard about our poorly resourced or limited shelter system, like Pender Hughes, our packed carceral state, our slim public health services, and on the other side of that, the accumulation, the ongoing accumulation of wealth and power and privilege by the few. So regardless of your political affiliation, your class, I just want to reaffirm again what Mark is saying. The virus will kill us all unless we house everyone, we give everyone the means to survive.